We just made a video about the UFC awards predictions for 2025, and we had some comeback fighters, and it got me thinking there are a lot of fighters who had a rough 2024 and they're due for a comeback. So that's what we're talking about.
I struggle with the word comeback because I just think about the one Parks and Rec clip every time.
Oh, yeah. I know which one.
And I feel like you're spacing out coming back a little too much. Like, it's not flowing. It's a two-parter. There's a type or a dash in the middle of it.
You can think what you want to think. I'm just going to talk about my list. You know who else is going to come back? Steve Erceg.
No, he's not. In case I wanted to put him so bad, because I put one per division. He did like 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
But if that Moreno fight is real.
No, it's not. He's fighting Asuel Mabayev.
No, that fight got canceled.
Did it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Steve, I think, had to just drop it.
Bro, what is happening? What is happening in the UFC? How did I not know about that?
Yeah, that fight's canceled.
Really? Okay. Well, breaking news on the Dawson's Corner podcast. I was even worried about him going into that matchup because Asuel Mabayev is he's decent at everything. I think Steve definitely outclasses him in the boxing. Mm-hmm. So I think he would be able to get it done. It's not like Almabayev has some crazy KO one-punch power like Kai Kara-France. If I had to see that again, I might just stop watching.
That was depressing.
It was. I feel like you can't really have a worse 2024. You know, he got the loss to Pantoja. Everyone's like, oh, so he's future champ material. I'm listening to the Robert Whittaker podcast. They're gassing him up. And then the dude just gets absolutely sparked out by Kai Kara-France. And then people are MMA mathing. Oh, Kai Kara-France wins the title now because he did Erceg in one round. It just sucks to see like such a good guy like that. And I really am hoping for his comeback. But if this Moreno rumor is true,
he's cooked.
What
did this guy do? What did this guy do to get a Moreno fight? Like, just let this guy get a win.
Yeah. Well, what did he do to get 3 shots up in the rankings? If this is true, Pantoja from 10 to Pantoja, from like 9 to 4, and then from 9 to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like that's I don't know who he's sucking off at the UFC.
He's like, trust me, I believe in myself. All right, my guy, I picked a flyweight to start off with. A guy who didn't win a fight last year. He only had one fight though.
Okay.
Kaya Sakura.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so like going through flyweight, wasn't actually like a whole bunch of fighters who were like they need a comeback, but like honestly, Kaya Sakura needs to win inside of the UFC because if he goes like 0-3 to start his career, I remember there was a hot take talking about that Kaya Sakura like goes winless in 2025 and gets cut from the UFC.
Didn't you say that?
No, someone in the...
Okay, I swear you were talking about your own hot take.
I read it out.
Someone had this genius hot take. Oh, it was me.
But, like, if he goes next year, I think that the UFC is going to give him some easy matchups. I think he's going to fight outside of the rankings maybe for his first fight and then
hopefully
maybe someone super low for his next fight because the UFC wants to capitalize on this guy's marketing. They don't want him to go 0-3. You know, they don't want this international superstar when they're trying to move into this Japanese audience to just get absolutely stomped.
Do not feed him to Michael Johnson. Don't do it. Dana, don't make that matchup.
Charles Johnson, no. Joshua Van, no. There's not even actually a lot of people that he could fight.
You could give him a Tim Elliott because somehow Tim Elliott's still in like the top 10.
Yeah, that's the next fight to make because Tim Elliott should be a free win.
Yeah.
If Kaya Sakura is actually any good, and then you build him up and we get the Tyra versus Kaya Sakura fight eventually. But I think that for him, he's one of the fighters on this list that needs to win the most because if he just 0-3, 0-4 inside the UFC, back to Japan, deported.
It's crazy how you'll have a Mexican or Brazilian flyweight, no aura. Japanese flyweight,
well, that's as big as they get.
That's so crazy.
What is the biggest Japanese fighter in UFC history? Bantamweight?
No, I'm trying to think, but I don't know, guys. I can't defend him on this one. All right, moving on to my next pick. I got Sergey Pavlovich.
Okay, yeah.
He's like it's such a free pick because he's had such a bad 2020. Well, I guess the Tom loss was at the end of 2023. I just group it in because the amount of aura he lost in 2024 is maybe the biggest loss in UFC history. It's absolutely insane. He has a layup against Rosenstrike probably today when we're posting. So I'm so hyped, or it's already happened.
Yeah, it would have already happened because that fight's
so
at like
early.
10:30 in the morning for us.
Yeah, I can't believe how good that Saudi card is. Like looking at it again,
it's stacked.
It's better than 312 by a country mile.
Well, and then there's gonna be like even like the fights, like the matchups of like Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira.
Yeah, the matchups are
That
so
fight
much
is gonna
better.
be so good. I can't believe I have to miss it.
Yeah. Are you working?
Yeah, I have to work.
Brutal.
Well, what if it snows and it gets canceled?
Your work?
Yeah,
It's gonna snow like 1 centimeter. They're not gonna cancel.
I can't drive in that.
If he doesn't KO Rosenstrike in the first round, even if he does get the win by decision, I feel like it's still an oral loss. You got to be putting Rosenstrike away. Rosenstrike does not have the same power, the same speed as a guy like Pavlovich. And then I don't know. I don't know if there's like a path forward for Pavlovich, you know, like
Where does he go?
gone maybe.
I was thinking more so like Blades.
Yeah, but I mean that'd be a rematch, and it's not like Blade's chin has gotten any better. Like I actually just rewatched that fight. I was watching Pavlovich fights to like remember if he was ever good or if we just overrated him. And he actually got tagged by Blade so many times, kind of like Tom. Like Tom didn't get tagged that many times; he got tagged once. But I feel like it's the same thing, you know. Pavlovich and Tom just have that speed advantage over everyone, and they just abuse it.
Yeah, and like well, the thing is with Pavlovich is you're not going to put him up against an Almeida
No, unless you want him to.
unless you want him to lose.
Yeah.
And like he's not going to go and fight Tom anytime soon.
No.
And we don't want to see him versus Volkov again. So maybe it is gone.
Yeah. If they want to punish Gon and give him a hard matchup, I think that's actually not the worst. Yeah. All right, who's your next pick?
My next pick, my guy from Bantamweight. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
Comeback starts now. Title run starts now. Cody No Love Garbrandt.
People have been saying this for the last 6 years.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. It's his year. It's his year. He's a nightmare matchup for Marab. His unpredictability. You know what? I might agree with that. Tough matchup for Marab. He's got good cardio. Unpredictable. He gets it done. That's the guy who beats Marab. Marab hasn't beat him too.
Oh, yeah. Outside of the rankings, give him a title shot.
Like a big win outside the rankings. All right.
Peyton Talbot, easy clap.
Honestly,
I think you might be able to beat.
just wrestle.
Yeah.
And then, does this mean that Chiwewe beats Talbot?
Honestly, it might.
And we talked about making that fight for so long.
Yeah.
Imagine we made that and Chiwewe beat Talbot.
I could see it now. You know, Peyton Talbot. I don't know what happened to him. You know,
He's got to walk. The next time I see him come out, it's gonna be 3 years from now, and he walks out with one of those giant Dagestani headdresses.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see.
He honestly should go Dagestan for 2-3 years.
Yeah, if he wants,
He wouldn't be able to wear half of his wardrobe there, but yeah.
You gay boy.
It's like, where's the stripper pole? Khabib? Where's the pole dancing, Khabib?
Can we listen to Frank Ocean?
No.
Thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me.
I saw some Instagram comment being like, he spent too much time wrestling with Frank Ocean rather than actual opponents. True.
All right, we were talking about Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's not.
Gets a win outside of the rankings, all right? And then you're telling me if this guy has to go and fight Kyler Phillips or Rob Font, he doesn't have a chance? Boom, inside the rankings.
Kyler Phelps, maybe. Rob Font, no.
Okay.
Rob Font's too good.
They're both jump. Okay.
Jump.
They're both jump. Okay, goes and fights Kyler Phillips, all right? From there, goes and fights Cheeto Vera.
This is stupid. This is so dumb.
Cheeto Vera just fought for a championship last year.
Yeah.
Title shot for Garbrandt because everyone else has lost to Marab.
Cheeto Vera will be losing 4 rounds and then randomly head kick KO him.
No,
Guaranteed.
Like, a knee, like some stupid knee.
Yeah, it'll be a fluke. I don't know. I do want him to come back, but man, I was really thinking they could do a Peyton Talbot matchup and feed Peyton Talbot. Or no, feed Cody Garbrandt to Peyton Talbot. But I think it's the other way around now. I think you'd be feeding Peyton Talbot to Cody Garbrandt.
Garbrandt's on the way up.
Literally.
He's like the youngest person to ever have CTE of all time. Like he's still like, isn't he like 32?
Dude, he's so young. And he talks like, he's been in jail for 10 years. Yeah. It's been, I think it was 2016 when he won the title, which is...
He was super young.
Like, yeah. 9 years ago? Holy.
We're old.
That's crazy. All right. My next pick, Oral By. All right. He's going to get an easier fight. There's no way they give him another brawler. They'll give him a layup, I think. He does need more head movement. He's still young. He's like 26 or 28, like in that range, even though he looks super old. So he has tons of time to improve. And he low-key, tell me this isn't true, reminds me of Benoit Saint Denis. But he still has a long way to go. He's not like in the rankings yet. So I think that 2025 will be a good year for him because he'll get maybe to like that 16, 17, 15 range.
Yeah, in that top 20.
Yeah, in that top 20, which I think he can beat most of the guys, but he won't have like that top 10 level fight against a Dustin Poirier, so he won't get fraud checked. I don't think. You know, watching them fight, Dustin or Orolbai and then Benoit, they both just don't move their head, and they're both too tough for their own good. It's like actually crazy how similar they are.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, my featherweight pick, a guy who lost some fights in 2024, but at the same time, he took them on some different circumstances. He did win his first fight of the year, but then went on to lose to Diego Lopez short notice, and then lost to Lerone Murphy, and honestly, a closer fight than it should have been. So it's kind of like, how good is Dan Ige, who's the guy I'm picking for featherweight, or how bad is Lerone Murphy?
Now, Lerone Murphy just sucks, dude. He's not that good.
But Dan Ige, you know, if he's fighting at the bottom of featherweight, he can get it done. You know, there's some plumbers back there. He could go out there and realistically beat Bryce Mitchell. He could be the guy that goes and gives him his punishment, his sentence.
That's not the worst.
Enough said. But at the same time, it's like, he's a good enough fighter. He's entertaining, where like he may not have a year where he's 3-0, but he could have 2-1 years, you know, because he's going to fight too is one thing about him. He's not going to go and fight one time a year. He's going to want to fight 3 times a year. Yeah. I don't see him making a push at this point. You know, he's never going to be that guy, but he's going to be that gatekeeper of featherweight, you know, at the bottom of the rankings. And 2-1 year is not unrealistic. I could see him.
Oh, you okay?
Knocked my hat off. I could see him being the guy that a certain Pant Silver fights to get into the rankings. That fight just makes sense.
Could be. They have a similar, you know,
fight style.
Yeah, build.
And it's like, in that case, he loses. But I think that Dan Ige is better than the 1 and 2 that he was last year. And he wasn't even that bad. Like, that third round win over Diego Lopez, and he brought it closer than it should have been with Lerone Murphy. But in the scorebook, it says 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's not an awful pick. My next guy, Stephen Thompson. I think Stephen Thompson has just had crazy bad matchups. He's had to take on 2 of the best contenders at welterweight.
He lost to a bum.
He lost to Shavkat.
Yeah.
And they lost to Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, bum.
Who just is now in the top 5 or 6, and people are saying that he has the best chance to beat Bilal Muhammad.
Fluky KO from Buckley.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Stephen Thompson still looked really good in the striking in both of those matchups. Like, he hasn't really lost much of his speed. What he just doesn't have anymore is a chin at all. And he's never been a grappler or a wrestler. He's never going to get good at that. So give him like a good striking matchup. And I'm not talking Carlos Prates. Do not give him Carlos Prates, because that is not going to end well. But give him an easy matchup. I think he still beats a Michael Morales. You know what I mean? Like, that's a close fight.
That is a close fight. I mean, it probably won't happen with him fighting Gilbert Burns now, but at the same time, as you look at welterweight, there's really no one for Stephen Thompson to fight unless one of these top guys is fighting down. Like if Ian Gary's fighting down to 11 to fight Stephen Thompson, or else
that just doesn't make sense though.
Thompson versus Michael Page after the Shara Bullet fight.
They would. No, they're friends though. They train together. Jeff Neal maybe, but Jeff Neal.
Why would you do Jeff Neal versus Stephen Thompson? That is the most pointless fight. Like there's just.
But can you not see the UFC just making a pointless fight for no reason?
100%. That's what they love to do.
Yeah. You know, there's not really good.
Vincent Luque got that big KO in his last fight.
Yeah, Luque could take
Joe's a fight. Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like kind of washed up older fighters at the bottom of welterweight.
They're not washed. They're just gatekeepers.
Yeah, they're just gatekeepers. But if he does get that Prates matchup, he will get brutally chinned again. So I'm just kind of banking on the fact that the UFC will finally be nice to him and give him some favorable matchups.
Buckley was favorable.
No, he wasn't.
He just kept his chin up a little too much.
People thought Buckley was just going to out wrestle him, and he couldn't. He couldn't take him down. So I guess that's kind of a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. From the young Stephen Thompson.
Young 41-year-old.
All right. My pick for welterweight. No, I'm in lightweight. I'm in lightweight still. Matthias Gamrot. All right. Coming off that huge upset.
It's actually Mateusz.
Mateusz Gamrot.
There you go.
But coming off that huge upset loss to Dan Hooker, where everyone had him beating Hooker, and then we didn't realize we weren't familiar with the Tatted Psychopaths game. You know, it was actually funny. Someone was talking about Michael Chandler, and they're like, his only wins in the UFC are against. Did he beat Dariush?
He beat Dan Hooker in his first ever fight.
Yeah, but who else? Who's his second win?
Honestly,
I think his other win was Dariush.
I can't remember.
But it was like, your only wins are someone and an untatted Hooker.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, untatted Hooker's not.
I gotta find out.
The second guy's not important. But with Mateusz Gamrot, my apologies to Mateusz, but he had that huge loss to Dan Hooker where, like, realistically, in that kind of favorable matchup, he should be the one getting it done. But the issue with Gamrot is I feel like this guy is so 50-50.
Oh my gosh. How did we... Tony Ferguson, the front kick. And that's why it doesn't feel real. He beat Tony Ferguson on a losing streak and untatted Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
It's crazy to finish Dan Hooker like that, though. Like, that was impressive at the time.
Yeah, but with Gamrot... I don't even remember what I was saying.
He's due for a comeback. That's what you were saying.
He is due for a comeback because, like, he's so 50-50 in his career. He'll go out there and he'll get that win over Arman, you know, the number one contender, but then he'll lose to, like, a decent striker, you know? Like, he is such a good wrestler. Like, he might even be the second best wrestler inside of that lightweight division, but he just struggles to actually get wins.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and there's so many, like, weird matchups for it. Like, if he went and fought Chandler or Patty, those are guys who are, like, a little bit more well-rounded than Gamrot because Gamrot's striking stinks.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but, like, at the same time, it's like he should be able to out-wrestle and get the wins over all these guys, but then in, like, a Hooker fight, he just stands up.
Yeah.
You know? So if he's able to actually wrestle his way, he could easily go undefeated next year with like 2 wins in that middle of lightweight and make his way up. You know? If he fought Poirier, Gaethje, you'd think that those were super favorable matchups, but this guy lost to Hooker.
Yeah, I think I don't even want to see him in the top 5.
No, because he's boring.
He's not the most exciting fighter, so it's time for him to start that decline, and no one's gonna miss him.
Come back in 2025, decline 2026.
All right, my next pick is Jared Cannonier. I think if Jared Cannonier can't win against Gregory Rodriguez, who I don't know how he managed to get this matchup, it's like a brother thing, you know,
retirement fight.
It must be. He's just gifting the ranking of number 7 or 8 to Gregory Rodriguez.
No, they're like a double retirement. Or like
double retirement.
Or loser has to retire.
They made a bet.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's similar to Wonderboy where he's had to face the 2 best up-and-comers, Nasruddin Imavov and Kyle Barallo. And he's always done that. He's faced Marvin Vettori when he was coming up. He's faced Sean Strickland. And he has wins over those guys. So he was like unbelievable. He just lost to like the Whitakers and the Israel Adesanyas. But now he's just 41. Doesn't have quite the same pop on his shots anymore. Doesn't have quite as good of a chin. It's just all slowly starting to crack. Like, he's just old, that's all there is to it.
But here's the thing is that 41-year-old Cannonier gave Barajo a test. That was a battle. Like, the way that he wouldn't go away in that fight was unreal.
Mm-hmm. And Nasruddin had a much better performance against Cannonier, which makes me think maybe Imavov has a chance against Izzy, I mean, this video is going to be posted after, so we're going to know.
These guys will be like, these stupid idiots. This fight happened yesterday. Didn't you watch it?
But, yeah, the fight's tomorrow for us, so who knows how that's going to go. Looking forward to it, though. Better main event than UFC 312, that's all I'll say.
All right, welterweight time. Better main event? You think Imavov versus Izzy is better than Strickland versus Dricus?
Yeah, probably will be.
Oh, in terms of fight quality?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
We'll see, though.
All right, welterweight time. No one else other than Leon Edwards. He has his one loss last year to Bilal where he just got played with. It was like Bilal was playing with his food.
Yeah.
That's literally what that fight was.
It was not a matchup at all.
Bilal had some cake that was made with salt and he was just playing with it.
You will never fail to bring up that reference.
OG reference.
90% of people will not know what we're talking about.
99% of people won't know.
Yeah.
Like, no one actually knows what we're talking about.
No.
All right, but Leon has that one loss last year to Bilal where he looked the worst that he had in basically his whole career. He was on this huge winning streak and then met Bilal Muhammad and just got
Yeah.
bonked on his head. But surely he's due for a comeback year, you know, because he's better than that. And I think that people are so down on him now.
Come on, Rock.
Like, I'm going to be in his corner. I'm going to be backing him against JDM. I think he beats JDM.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
As much as I need JDM to win for the Shavkat JDM storyline,
Mm-hmm.
we can wait. We have time. But Leon goes and gets that win over JDM, and then surely he'll have to fight more than once. You don't know what this guy, though. He hates to fight. He actually genuinely hates
Him and JDM both hate to fight.
Once fights in March, and it's like,
Dude, that's honestly why we need Buckley as the champion. Because we'll get 4 title fights a year. And I think Bilal is going to fight lots too. You have Shavkat once a year, JDM maybe once a year, once every 3 years if we're lucky. And then Leon once a year. Like, we're cooked. We need Bilal or Buckley as the champion. I'm gonna say it.
Even Sean Brady doesn't fight.
Yeah.
And
No one wants to see him.
Yeah, the UFC just doesn't book him.
UFC forgets about him.
It's like, oh, I'll fight this unranked welterweight for free data.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's all good, man.
You're good, buddy. Yeah, but Leon going up against JDM, really close fight, 50-50. Definitely has a chance to win that fight.
He's like the Home Alone kid. It's like when you're naming the top 5, it's like, who did we forget? It's Sean Brady waving.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
And then from there, he'd probably fight again at the end of the year, and that's where we could have him fight a Buckley, a Sean Brady, maybe I doubt any of the loser of Bilal Shavkat will be ready. But if it's Shavkat who beats Bilal, it's probably Leon versus Shavkat for the belt.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
But I think they're gonna I think what happens.
And I think Leon's a super tough matchup for Shavkat.
Really? I don't think so.
Really?
The clinch is so free.
Yeah, but the way that you defend everything from Usman, you can keep it at your own distance.
I don't know. I don't think so. Shavkat, the wrestling is just like a little bit too good, but who knows? I feel like we're saying the same thing about Usman when they fought, and
the way that Leon beats this crazy stylistic nightmare matchup in Usman twice.
Yeah, he was just switched on, I guess.
Yeah, there's a possibility. The roadmap is there for Leon to come back this year, and surely he's got to get better than that, unless he's just like a CTE merchant now.
Well, he already talks like he had CTE.
That bug me in my head.
Dude, he's only 33. I swear he's 36.
No.
He looked 40 in that Bilal fight. He looked tired, bro. All right, I'll move on to my next pick. I got another heavyweight coming up, Tai Tuivasa.
I'm hoping.
He's been due for a win for about 3 years now.
I'm waiting for T Ferg to come up. GFL T Ferg.
That's honestly a free pick. Him versus Dylan Dennis. Dude, how is Tai Tuivasa still ranked at top 10?
On a 5-fight losing streak? Mm-hmm. He might have the longest active losing streak now with Ferguson gone. I believe he does.
Probably. But yeah, the fact that he's still ranked top 10 in the division, absolutely crazy. Lost to Rosenstrike. Close fight, split decision. The judges cooked. But who does he fight?
Well, who's he? Oh, he's not even fighting at 312.
312? Waldo Cortez Acosta, your time has come. Feed him to Tai Tuivasa.
That's realistically like the only ranked fight that you can make.
Yeah.
You're not going to,
Shamil Gaziev, that would be a banger fight. Don't tell me you're not going to show up for a Tai Tuivasa Shamil.
Dude, Shamil Gaziev's in shape.
I know.
Good.
Yeah,
he took what we said to heart.
Shamil the Meal Gaziev.
He's gonna get that big dub tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we've already seen it.
Yeah,
we gotta stop talking about Saudi Arabia card.
Sorry, Gaziev got that big dub yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Then had that Big Mac. Yeah, give him Shamil and he'll
just
win.
Like how Shara lost yesterday.
Yeah,
I sure hope so.
I'm not confident anymore in that pick.
All right, moving on, middleweight time. This is the guy that I picked for my comeback fighter of the year in 2025. It's Israel Adesanya. Oh, wait. Hopefully he would have gotten a win yesterday, or else this video is not aging well.
Why would you pick that? That's like a 50-50 you're getting clowned on in the comments.
That's most guys,
Yeah.
The guys that are high at the rankings, they're like in 50-50 fights. But so Adesanya, he won yesterday. This is the path I said in the awards video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Beats Imavov and then beats Barajo. Just absolutely just stomps on the two up-and-comers of middleweight outside of Shemaev. but like at
Yeah.
the top of because Barajo, I'm not convinced on him. And if he can beat Imavov, I'm going to MMA math my way to him beating Barajo.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I like that.
Simple as that. I gave my full explanation in the awards prediction video. And I'm really going to keep this one brief in case he lost.
Yeah. All right. That's smart. Should we do one more?
I have two more.
No, you don't have an interesting pick for heavyweight. Come on.
I have Pavlich, who you already said.
Okay. All right. Let's do one more.
My light heavyweight one is one that I hate.
All right. I got another heavyweight. I'm gonna be honest. I have 3 heavyweights on my list.
Surely you don't have an interesting heavyweight.
Well, I know you're basic though. I'm not, and that's why I picked Robelis to Spain.
Okay, I thought about picking some guys not in the UFC anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't pick Makayev for flyweight. You thought about it.
I did.
No, here's the thing. Dana has been watching Karate Combat, and he's like, why could Robelis to Spain not do this in the UFC? Here's the thing, Dana. If you give him Pereira level matchups, Robelis to Spain will win. And he could have been at a title shot by now. If you think about it. If you gave him the right matchups, he is KOing Tai Tuivasa. He could KO... I mean, him versus Pavlovich would be a stand-up fight. Like, if you gave him the right roadmap, he could literally be at a title shot by now. They just decide to give him blobs and ruin his career.
Yeah.
They've given so many other people favorable matchups in light heavyweight, middleweight. Like, think about Adesanya's career on the way up.
Oh, they're all no younger than 38.
Like, if they would have given Robelis to Spain an actual
I was like, what's going on?
good matchup. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Robelis to Spain, the UFC screwed him, and now he's the biggest star in Karate Combat, getting paid $20 a fight.
All right, my light heavyweight. This guy, I want you to guess who it is, but I'm going to give you one clue. Has not won a fight since 2021.
Anthony Smith?
No.
Oh, no, he won against Vitor Petrino. Vitor Petrino?
No, this guy's in the top 5. Hasn't won a fight since 2021.
Don't even get me started on this bum. It's Rakic.
Yeah. I didn't realize that he hasn't won since 2021. He did have that injury.
Yeah.
All right. But surely they can't make him fight anyone in the top of light heavyweight anymore.
No.
He's not going to fight Ank. He's not going to fight Yuri. He's not going to fight Jan because he already lost all 3 of those. He just lost to the top 3 contenders. Please don't give him Jamal Hill. And then Alberg and Roundtree, hopefully we don't get that. But if he goes and fights down at the bottom, if he's Anthony Smith's retirement fight, just gets to put him out of his misery, or he has to go fight Alonzo Metafield, or Dominic Reyes. Oh, I think Dominic Reyes could beat him. Johnny Walker, he could win that fight. But surely he's just got to go and fight down at the bottom. He's got to move down that ranking spot. And he can't keep up with the guys at the top.
Yeah.
He's not even close, to be honest.
I hate those fighters that just don't. I mean, he has fought and he's still ranked high, but I hate like the Marvin Vittoris who just don't fight and or the Michael Chandlers who don't fight and they keep a top 5 ranking and never move down.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can have this guy top 5 when he hasn't won in 4 years.
It's crazy.
And he's like, surely he
wasn't his last win. It's not OSP.
It's I looked at it a second ago.
It's Thiago Santos. It's literally Thiago Santos from 4 years ago. And then he had the knee injury to Jan Blachowicz, and then injury for 2 years, and then the loss to Yuri, lost to Big Ink.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
His other win before that was like Anthony Smith.
Yeah. So he's beaten bottom 15 level opponents.
And he's just, these guys I'm reading below here are just absolute bums. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Go down to the comments which fighters are due for a comeback in 2025. While you're down there, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.